line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
Well, why not, ladies and gentlemen? Let's end the night off on a high note, and let's have some fun down at Talladega. Hi, everyone. I'm with the Crusader, Christian Schreiber, joining you guys one more time. It's time for a little fun under the sun at Talladega Super Speedway. 16 drivers have come forth to lay claim and have one last little fight as they go for some cold, hard cash down in Talladega land. It's time for the truck race. 50 laps the distance here at Talladega Super Speedway. And as we now hire them all down and fire them on up here, let's take a look at the starting lineup. On the pole, Brian McCann, number 3, will be the starter. It is outside Neil Quick in the number 2. Row number 2, Kevin McCann. The 4 was outside, being that Vincent Short in the 14. Row number 3 is Cook Quick in the number 54. It is outside Carson Conway in the 72. Row number 4 is Paul Buzel in the 9. Is outside Jeff Napier in the 40. Row 5, Brian Reich. The number 1 is outside Ian Martin as he pilots it up, down in his number 98. Row number 6 is Rick Cybrins, and this outside, the 5 is outside James Meyer in the 95, or Mayer, excuse me. I believe it's Mayer. We'll see later on with him. Row number 7 is going to be J.R. Miller in the 78. It's outside the 15, Chris Wally. He's actually going to be doing race control. Ignore that there. And then row 8 is Ray Radford, the 12, and the final starter, Clint Mata in the 7. All right, fans. You guys ready for this? It's time to dash for the cash. $100 worth on the line here for this one. Nikki Short joins us in, saying go Team Short. And the lights flicker on. It's time to set our field in motion. Let's pilot these guys down around the track here, down around into the field. Brian McCann in the number 3 here will be the starter with Neil Quick on that outside. And remember, those two had an absolute war on their regular IROC iRacing IROC Challenge Series. Their season ahead, and that regular season championship was one of legendary proportions. But Brian was able to knock down Neil by just a few simple points. Will it happen again? We don't know. The only thing we do know, this could get interesting. Some new faces in here we have never seen before here. Looking also try to make a little bit of a charge. Maybe look, turn a few heads here and get ready for this one to play out in their minds and in their sights. Some heavy race and some hard racers in this field, in this bunch. This one should be an interesting for 50 laps to the distance. It's all out excitement and fun down here on the track, but how will they handle each other? How will they bring the nerves to fruition and into the playing field we go? Only time will tell, and only one can tell. This is that peace and quiet little moment. This is that moment of silence almost right before you get ready to fire up the motors. You just kind of stall around the track. Literally everything seems kind of quiet, seems kind of nice. Until you realize what you're about to do is going to be crazier than most things most drivers and most people in their lives would even dare to attempt. It is truly a sacrilegious world and a sacrilegious place we call home. And these drivers are about to get a full-fledged feel of it as they bring him off down on turn 4. Our pace car will come on down this way here and set the boys in motion for the start of our Dash for Cash race here at Talladega Superspeedway. Let the green flag fly on up and charge these boys up. It's time to go racing. Some money on the line and some fun to be had. Let's kick it off and let's start racing. Here we go. Out of the first set of corners, it's early on. Right now, Brian McCann with his family member Kevin right behind him, taking the early advantages here. Cook quick in the 54, looking to make a move on the outside line, looking to try to kind of get some move up on speeds and trying to deal with that Goozle man himself. Paul Buzel right below him, moving the field in, down across the stretches, down across on that front straightaway. Now they go. The onboard camera here with Jeff Napier as he puts his Bojangles number 40 right up into the fray with the boys in the State Farm 72, Carson Conway, as well as that 5 of Rick Seabrand's down there. Reserve Seabrand's down there, that's what his last name is, so I'm going to go with Seabrand's. If it's Seabrand's, I do apologize. I should have probably checked with the boys here and see like how you say each other's names around here, but then again, I never really think too far ahead on that stuff now, do I? Vincent Short not in the 14 but in the 15 right now. Pilots up, a strong run coming down from the back straightaway here with some boys right below him and in their line of work. Every driver for themselves here trying to get the early advantage here. Brian Reich in that number 12 machine moving it down below here. 3 wide slivs. The 54 Cook quick kind of gets edged in between. Brian Reich here piloting the 12 right now, currently in the mix of the pack and dealing with the fight in the fraying here. Got a lot of guys trying to move and charge and throw this one on around a little bit. Brent Lowe joins in. Good evening, sir. Hope all is well. Brent, yes it is, sir. And Brian and Kevin McCann, really no surprise either out of the gate. These two already kind of doing their own little thing, kind of doing their own little surface and scruffle here. Trying to watch every move, every line, every driver, every shot these guys will take. Clint Mata, J.R. Miller, Ray Radford as well. Just kind of stay way back in the pack here. It looks like they don't want anything to do with the boys up front. This is that old strategy we talk about, which is save your car, save your truck, save your vehicle for as long as you can. Don't worry about trying to push and shove right now. That will come later on when the time comes. It's definitely a little bit loose up there, though. You can see the 2 getting kind of pushed around a little bit with that 2 Neil Quick up on that number 12's back end of Ryan Reich. Reich, I gotta believe right now, trying to keep himself a little bit out of troublesome zones, out of bad areas that he does not want to be put into. Definitely seems to be his mantra and seems to be his ideals here. Ian Martin, though, in the 98 butt kicker. looking to represent his crew and his team well. It's been a while since we've seen him on here, but the Ian Martin Racing team seems to still be alive and well and looking to full on charge this one around. James Meyer, the number 95 right now, looking to get this Chevrolet Silverados put into full beer, full gore time. Saying, "Oh, look out! Hold on! Big wreck right in front of all of us here. Big wreck on the front straightaway." And Brian Reich in the number 12 goes for a wild ride here, to say the least. And no caution thrown, but what the heck happened here? He got pushed, he got shoved, he got run around a little bit. Ian Martin gives a nice little push to Neil Quick. The 12 gets loose. And frankly, I have not the clue on this earth how anybody avoided him in that wreckage. But by God, they avoided him and stayed out of the way. Unreal. Some of those guys were just dead close to just destroying their equipment and getting just completely tore up, and yet they still somehow did not get into that mess like that. Pretty impressive. The 95, James Meyer, in my opinion, came extremely close compared to everybody else. Rick Cyberns right now, the number 5, putting some Yeti machines up to the front. Look out for some Yeti coolers starting to make this track feel a little cool on the groove, my friends. Track Bar Media saying, "Let's go, Holler Boys Racing." They got some love down there for the Vincent Short crew and that 15 machine. We'll see if he can rock. We'll see if he's a rock steady man tonight. If he's rock solid, because we know he's been up to some no good on our Thursday night series. Will that change here in the Sunday night edition for him and his crew? We shall soon find out. Down off the edges, down off the ledges here. Drivers in a hot foot spray here. Everyone's still trying to find some speed, trying to find some run up when they can. I guarantee you right now, though, Brian Reich's probably not too thrilled about that little wreck earlier on. Probably going to remember a little bit of that later. If he could get a chance to get that lap, if he can get that caution back out and get him some help here. Yeah, on board here, the Kevin McCann Gaming's number 33 here. Kevin still piling up some solid momentum, still rocking with his teammate there and his family member as they look for some runoff and some clearance zone here, trying to see if maybe they can bring some speed into the distance. This is the thing I really like right now is, again, you got guys that are trying to form passes, and you got guys that are trying to storm that Talladega Daytona draft train and looking for really any kind of extra boost of speed, any kind of extra momentum they can get while using skills, knowledge, and really just kind of the ideals and basics of what each team, each crew member usually uses on their full counter, on their full ledges here. I feel as though that's kind of genius when you think about it. It's kind of actually brilliant when it's all said and done and set in motion. Strategies definitely play into a big factor, definitely play out quite well when you can do them just right. And these guys know that too well. That's why you're seeing a lot of guys. Driving is extremely aggressive and extremely hard, as they are so far. There's seemingly no troubles or care in the world for us. Carson Conway and Vincent Short being rooted on here by our Holler Boys Racing guys now here coming on. So I did forget about Carson Conway there. That is 72 and the 15 teammates in their own rights, and definitely going to be helping each other out when they can throughout this event, throughout this battle here. Coming off the ledges here, down onto the front straightaway, down in through turn number 4 onto that front straightaway here. It's still a battle and a half between the front runners. Paul Buzel right now kind of looking on in the middle section here. The 98 of Ian Martin kind of looking towards maybe pushing up a little more on these guys. can't seem to find a run early, and he can't seem to find a run too late. He's going to have to kind of find a half median here if he can. Ryan McCann, the 3, down low, says steady as she goes, boys. Let's just keep this thing on control. Rick Syburn's right now, the Yeti Coolers. Number 5, Chevrolet Camaro is your race leader for the first time, really we've ever seen him on Pizza Race TV, and considering he's gone 10 up from where he started out earlier, I'd say hard charger and hard running from him and his crew. He's having absolutely no problem with this whatsoever. James Meyer here in that number 95 right now, trying to keep himself on a steady control, a steady end here. With that 54 Cook Quick also kind of leaning towards the speed in the distance zone. Each driver doing their own thing, trying to hang on for what they got. I mean, the biggest thing with smart racing here at Talladega versus just someone who's kind of laying back for a while and then waiting out for a turn is usually those guys that are kind of keeping more of a visual presence, kind of keeping themselves more in the limelight on the track. You know what I mean by that is really, you see guys like, you know, Carson Conway and Vincent Short, they're kind of staying in that pack, but they're not getting too close to where they can't see what's going on in front of them. They're doing what we like to call kind of a peek and go strategy, as I like to say. What we usually refer to peek and go, at least I do, is you're literally kind of staying towards a one line, one area, so more likely the middle or the bottom, and you can see pretty much the entire track as well as the entire field of drivers right in your line of sight. And when the time comes, you gotta back off. As long as you ain't got no one behind you, you got time to hit the brakes a lot harder and quicker than everyone else does, which allows your truck or your car to not have to get caught up in that bad scenario, that bad predicament. Giving yourself plenty of time to breathe, plenty of time to really hit up momentum and stay under control and into the feasible lines here. Bob Usel right now, that number 9 Toyota Tundra, just continuously pounding throttle, mashing the gas pedal down on the track here, hoping for some run, hoping for some speed. That's Neil Quick and that genuine draft Miller time machine, trying to at least hopefully, I would say, not get himself in any more trouble as he did earlier on. Brian Bright gets a lap down. And again, I really don't think all of it was on Neil there. I think a little bit just had to do with the hard racing aspect of it. A lot of guys kind of found themselves in a bit of a bad run, a bit of a bad spot. And we'll talk now with one of those guys that know all that too well here as he joins me in real quick. Take a listen in with him. Chris, you got a copy down there? Might be a little bit busy down here. Yeah, it looks like he's a little bit busy over here, so it looks like we won't be able to talk with him, unfortunately. We were going to talk with the race control man himself, Chris Wally, see how things were going, if things were getting a bit all over the place here, but definitely seems like things are getting a bit more hard on the nose and hard on the charge here. Also, race fans, take a look down below here in our comments section here. IROC Series is asking you guys, do you want to be a part of the action? Do you want to go out and race with these guys, these competitors, like the McCanns, like the Quicks, like the Shorts, the Conways, the Napiers and all of them? Well, simply put, join the IROC Series and be sure to check them out at www.iroc/series.com. You guys can go ahead and get yourselves in the racing world and into the realm of battles and zones that comes with this racing. It isn't just Talladega or the short tracks they do. They do all kinds of tracks in the all forms, as you have seen previously on our Thursday night specials here with these boys. Well, it looks like he's now joined us here real quick here. Wally, you got a copy, bud?
I've got you, sir.
All right, hey man, right now some solid racing, some big moments kind of coming through the field here, but right now, kind of how's it feeling going for the drivers right now? Are these guys kind of a little shaken up by some of the madness that stirred up earlier?
I'll tell you what, I don't know how they got through that first little incident there with Brian. Got lucky, I guess, but they kind of, fallen in line a little bit. Had a few different packs there, but that second pack got in line and caught back up. So, if it's going to be that exciting at the beginning, I can't wait for the second half of this deal.
Second half definitely coming up closer than we realize here. Lap 16 of 50 nearly reaching its mark, reaching its spot here. Who do you think right now that kind of has the better advantage? Do you think the guys in the back have a little bit more of a better of a chance to kind of get more towards the front later? Or do you think the guys up front right now have the best odds because they can block from that angle?
I'll tell you what, I think at the end of it, it's probably going to come down to a little bit of fuel strategy. So those guys up front right now, burning off all that fuel, it's going to be real close anyways on if they can attempt to make it the full length. I think if they get one caution, they may be able to go without fuel at all. So those guys in the back right now, they could be going, 75, 80% throttle and saving a lot strategy-wise.
Simply put, it definitely is going to be a very little tough ordeal, a tough little challenge. We've seen the fuel run earlier on be played into good use, and Talladega looks like it will be no different here. But well, we do appreciate your time here, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chris Wally here joining us in for a little bit here. Just kind of having a good little chat, good little time for us here. Hopefully we can bring the drivers in throughout the race and throughout the field here. Hopefully we get some time to talk with them. But I don't know how long it will be until we may be getting a caution here to chat with them. I did not receive any word that they were going to be okay to talk with while the race was going on. And honestly, I don't really like bugging folks when they're racing out here. But believe me, it's hard enough being behind the wheel and having to feel every little detail and every little spot, let alone having to hear from race control something going on. So, or much less from a broadcaster either. So just be aware of that. As we take it down to the 3 wide slip, though, look out for Carson Conway. That's 92. Looks like it's time for some HBR and State Farm 72 to be rocking and rolling down here. Conway sends it up top, looks for the run, couldn't find the run, couldn't get around Goozle there. Old Buzel just goozles another driver. He did not want him to go by him, and he knew he had to hang on for dear life or it was going to be troublesome territory later. As Kevin and Brian McCann still continue to lead their files and lead their spots. And now fuel strategy. Finally going to get put to the test here for the drivers that were kind of laying back in it a little bit. Whoa, hold on a minute. Trouble down there on that front straightaway here. Paul Buzel overshoots the corner of the pit stop, and now he's got to fire that thing right around. Well, Rex Sebrans, James Meyer, and Paul Buzel will make it in at least. But the story is definitely going to be Paul Buzel getting the old Goozle treatment, not knowing where the heck to go from here. That one definitely got overshot, and that cost him dearly there. Ian Martin with damage on that front end of that nose of the 98 Toyota Tundra, and yet still somehow it's hanging on okay there. Pretty wild action, some pretty wild moments throughout, and again, it's really just the beginning of this race. This first half has been nothing but pretty much pure consistency and pure unalteration, with little to no problems or efforts around the track. Quick right now in the 54, keeping his R&R Ford F-150 machine right into the field, into the playing zone. So the R&R Racewear crew has always been some pretty tough hombres to knock down around the flags and around the paces here. And if you do remember too, before we ever switched to those next-gen Cup cars, the IROC Challenge Series ran these devices. They ran these trucks. This is the same trucks and the same stable chassis they ran back when they were first starting, and believe it or not, this was the very first race we ever started calling for the IROC series. How about that? I guess a little return to form, a little return to the past. I still remember that day too, when those Holler boys, they came out here and they pretty much just came in here with a fiery race in their eyes and a fiery battle on their sights. They gave it everything they had and gave it then some, but then we learned about what happens when you got the McCann boys the Smiths, the Quicks, and all them kind of mixed in. It made for some really interesting scruffles and a little bit of an interesting dynamic duo here on our show, to say the least. Brian McCann right now piling a number and really showing a name on there and a face that I think knew Talladega extremely well, as much as Talladega knew him. One of the toughest and the baddest drivers out of the IROC Challenge Series here. One of those guys you just kind of want to take down as much as you can, try to find a way to beat him out as much as you can. Him and Kevin McCann have always been, in my opinion, the gatekeepers of the IROC Series and really of their duos and of their trio racing that they bring to the table. So bad, fast, and tough to handle and really take down on the tracks. Now, I'm going to say this, if we do not have a caution as well, we will talk with the top 5 drivers at the very end of this race. So, if we do not get our drivers lineup in, you know, talk and bring him in, and we will talk with top 5 at the end of the race here. So, do not fear, folks, we'll hear from the drivers one way or another today. J.R. Miller, Clint Mata right now, really farther back than really any of the other guys here. I'm not really sure where their strategy kind of kicked in or where they were really thinking to go with it, but now they'll have to enter into pit road. So the 78 and the of Suicide Prevention machine and the 7 of Chris Mata bringing that big bad built Chevrolet machine into pit road as the rest of our field continues to straggle along. On down from the sky, the eyes and the skies flying high around here on the track. We continuously watch around and seeing as many drivers continue to perform, many continue to kind of strive down and find some openings when they can. Cook Quick will head into pit road, and so will the 12 of Brian Reich here. Reich is a lap down, so is Ray Radford and Paul Buzel, though quite a few laps down actually. So that is what's kind of setting these buys back a little bit, kind of setting the tone up more towards the rest of the field. Kevin and Brian McCann right now, they are your race leaders here by about a full second and a tenth up ahead of the boys back here. How long that will last though remains to be known, because really right now, thing is, with them only being in a three truck draft right now, that can only last them so long. If the boys behind them want to start pushing and shoving to get up to them, well, I bet you darn good well they will do whatever that takes to get to them. And it looks like pit road is going to be opening up again. The McCanns go in. So does the 2, the 98, as well as the 15 and the 40. So that will bring everybody down for a little pit stop and go. I believe all drivers have now headed into pit road and done a full-on pit stop. And the 5 and the 95 here starting to do what I think is kind of a bit of an interesting little tidbit here. They're trying to do a full long run by doing only half of the race here on one half and then doing the other half later. It's an interesting dynamic. It's an interesting little setup here to be forming at this kind of level and kind of this position. Six laps left to go here right now. We'll take a look at our lap positions, our timing zone sheets here. James Mayer and Rick Seagreens right now currently the 2 front runners up front. Brian McCann, Kevin McCann, and Ian Martin now looking to start to dive back into the switch of things here. Try to get some more speed, kind of hook up on the corners. Every driver for themselves right now looking for what they can, what they've got on the table. Brian McCann, the number 3, and the 33, Kevin McCann, looking to get going here and try to make some moves, if you will. And man, this really is kind of a dash for gas. This has literally been a very quick little heated up startup and a little heated up little fight zone for every one of these drivers. And I do like the fact that really, other than little problem with Brian Reich earlier, these guys have been very consistent, very under control and on the edge here. But how long can that go for them before things get really worked up again and things get a little crazy down on the track? That remains to be seen. Well, we might see a little bit of it here as the 12 game you get a little revenge for earlier on. Works with Cook Quick in the 54, trying to gain that third place spot up for the 54. And also, in his mind, help himself to a little helping of getting back into this fight. 5-star graphics number 12 swings it to the low end, swings it to the bottom, and takes full charge, full aim at the entire racing league here now. And again, he's not out of it yet exactly. He still can get that lap back if he can just get a caution to come out. But again, these guys have been so clean, so rhythmic, except for that one little hiccup. They haven't really put themselves into a bit of a bad spot at all. They've been just kind of very much under control. Rick Seabrins right now on the number 5, and then that 95 here right behind him with James Meyer right now. Both drivers working together, working every ounce and throttle rhythm and speed they can under the hood. They're trying to stand clear and keep a close eye on problems right now, knowing that that caution can loom and doom them anytime here, especially with those pack guys coming up on them. They've only got about a 13-second gap here right now. Cook Quick and then want to get going. They need to start pushing a bit. Or they're going to have to rely on the old trick and the old mantra of watch the fuel, watch the run here again. We saw it's pretty much about a 25 lap fuel run window they get if they don't have to push and shove as much as you seen earlier. But again, I guarantee you these guys, they're not going to be playing by that rule. They're not going to be caring about that. The only thing they're going to care about is trying to win that cold hard cash. I mean, if I was them, I'd do the same thing. Right on the outside line right now, looking to stay out of trouble and stay out of problematic zones here. Every single one of these boys seemingly innocuous of what is going on here, trying to find whatever momentum they can. Right now, some folks that we're not looking at too much here are kind of laying in the back of the outhouse right now, looking to maybe charge up to the White House if they can find some speed, find some run here. Includes the likes of our boys here from the Holler Boy Racing Team and Carson Conway in the 72 and that 15 of Vincent Short. Right now, those two being dynamic duos here in their own right. You can see they are farther back in the entire group of the entire ledge here, and that's due to one reason. They're trying to do a completely different strategy than every single other driver out there and really what everyone else was kind of up to. But at the same time, I would presume maybe make it a little bit difficult for some of these boys to go and make some passes around them. And that was definitely one of them. That right there was what we call the block, if you will. And Paul Buzel just got completely blocked off. I don't think Buzel's going to appreciate that one next time, though. I think Carson Conway was trying to keep him a lap down. I don't know, or maybe he didn't even realize he is a lap down. I don't know if a spotter's telling him that stuff down there, but I'm not really sure that was a smart move. Knowing that that driver's a lap down, he could have had actually used him to kind of use as a drafter to kind of help him push around a little bit more. And pit road's opening up again. Looks like James Meyer and Rick Seabrins is going into pit road. That opens the door up now for the boys that come from the back, come to the outhouse looking for the White House. Will they opt to pit road? Looks like they'll go one more time around before they do. But it looks like the fuel run and fuel strategy window is going to be extremely cautious and extremely careful, to say the least here. This is getting interesting. Again, not a whole lot of passing, not a whole lot of charging, not a whole lot of that momentum gain or transfer over. But what it is doing is showing us the mentality, the striking nature, and the whole power-based speed that these guys are looking to gather and capture here with themselves as well as the trucks. It's been so long since we've really seen these things really put to the test and put into such a unique position that it really just kind of puts a testament to these guys. Well, like the McCanns earlier, Neal and Cook Quick right now are the two front men lineups here, looking to try and stabilize this one down, trying to make a last big move off of Doom or Shoot for this one. 18 laps left to go. Kind of closing on the gaps here, running through the field. I think it's time we go ahead and close off our mics for a little bit, have a little fun time down on the track, let the boys do the talking with their trucks. It's time to put the pedal in the metal. Let's crank it up around here at Talladega. Pedal pushed straight down in the middle here, and the speeds and cranked up to high pitched, high loud noises here at Talladega Bounty, Talladega, Alabama. Beautifully trusted and maintained here by the drivers. Absolutely no one giving an inch here or giving out anything. Conway, Vincent Short, and all them last now as long as they did, working with Seabrins as well as Mayer right now. Each one of these drivers have their own little hiccup, their own little strategies really put up to full gear and full motion, but they still are behind on the charge and the dash that Cook Quick and Neal Quick has right now. Although Cook right now a little bit all over the place, kind of squirrely there. I'm not really sure if he's losing some speed or if he's just getting a little bit ahead of himself. That's one thing I will say that's very difficult running around here, is this that issue of having to deal with the added pressure of knowing your arms are getting kind of sore, your hands are starting to sweat, the body's aching, your mind is racing, your heart is pumping. You just can't even for the life of you think for 1 second and just take a deep breath and chill out for a little bit. It just gets so all over the top, so all in this and all really chaotically insane to say the least. It really just kind of brings out the best in driving and really the kind of toughest in driving. I know it doesn't seem like they're doing much because they're going full throttle, but let me tell you something. It's the one thing to go full throttle on a track, but it's another to really time your strategies and time when you have to make a move or have to make a run for it. That to me is what makes Talladega and Daytona, as well as now Atlanta Motor Speedway, so gosh darn difficult. And look at this. Sebrans, Mayer, and Carson Conway, Vincent Short, with all those behind him in the 9 of Paul Buesel and the 78 of J.R. Miller, excuse me. Have all, or excuse me, the 12 of Ray Radford is what I meant to say, is all now running right up closer and quicker to the field up ahead. Brian and Kevin McCann, they're going to go into pit road now, so they opt a different strategy than the rest of the field. Very unique move here. I don't know how well that'll work out for them, but that definitely got a few of the boys here kind of all over the place now trying to figure out their strategy. This is definitely getting a bit difficult for these guys. This is getting tricky. Cook Quick going high up. I really am trying to figure out what the heck he's up to. He went way up there off of turn number 3 and 4. I don't think that the truck's got a problem. I don't even know what's going on with him, what he's trying to do. This is a very unique strategy, I'll say. I thought originally he was trying to block or he's trying to kind of keep someone away from him. But I think right now he's actually trying to just see if he can hang on with the throttle. Not have to burn up so much. It's hard to really determine what he's up to and what he wants to do. Although right now we can tell you one thing, he is going to get past here for the race lead. Rick Sebrans and James Mayer have now moved in this one. I know I want to keep saying Meyer, but I think it's Mayer really. It's supposed to be said like that, so I apologize there. Carson Conway and Vincent Short now running it right through on the back straightaway. The 9 of Paul Buesel moving up with them, down below. Up from top to the bottom, straight the shot. Here we go, battle for the lead. Carson Conway to the bottom. Huge charge here coming from the Holler boys. And now we ramp it up to level 10 at Talladega. We've cranked it up now. It's time to shoot it up because it's going to be a shooter's paradise for whoever can get the first run first. From that edge, Sebrans had the better of the two Rhines. He holds it with 11 laps to go. On the verge, on the footnotes here, every single one of these guys here giving it everything they have, and then some just trying to outplay and outmaneuver the other. The 12 of Ray Radford now literally putting it right ahead of Carson Conway. I don't know if he's going to try to help him or he's going to try to block him, but I do know these guys up here, the 5 and that 95, they have been playing this yard, they've been playing this team so well, so strongly. It's pretty darn impressive to say the least. I would love to see these guys try this on the other tracks with the IROC series, boys. That would certainly be something to behold. 10 to go. Kevin McCann, Brian McCann, maybe kind of wondering themselves if they choose the right time to go into pit road, and did they choose the right time to put it in pit road. Strategies usually are a lot more sophisticated than usually what the Talladega tracks can do, but I don't think there's enough time to really strifing hard with and really keep into play. Ian Martin, though, we'll talk about getting aggressive here. That 98 butt kicker machine starting to get a little harder on the gas, harder on the nose. Carson Conway having to enter into pit road here. So he'll have to go in, and it looks like he'll be joined by the 9 of Paul Buesel. Both drivers heading in. And Brian Wright yet again, though, on the front straightaway, wrecked out on the front end yet again. No caution, though. Second time today, Brian Wright gets sent back to the Shadow Realm, and I don't know what the heck is going on down there with him and that team, but he just continues to get tortured and abused at Talladega today. I'm not so sure when he gets done with this one. He's going to be too thrilled with somebody out there, but at the end of the day, it was a long, hard, drawn-out race. Now, it's a serious challenge and a half here to really get around. What a tough break there for Wright, and definitely a bad omen for him, really, here at Talladega, knowing what he can usually do down with his talents on the track. Top 5 will be interviewed with us. If we do not have any time to talk with any of these guys here, we'll see with 8 laps to go. You never know anymore. I'll say at this point, I think we're just going to talk top 5 anyway at the end of this one. Let the boys kind of race this one out, leave them be. Paul Buesel on the bottom lane, trying to get the draft, trying to get the runoff, maybe for one last ditch effort. But again, with how many laps he's down right now, I don't even think it's worth it. Maybe in his mind it might be, as now they're going to run up into lap traffic here right up ahead. J.R. Miller in the 78 and the 7 of Clint Moda. Heavy pushing, heavy shoves, and the 12 now having to go in. Ray Radford calls it up and says, I can't do it no more, boys. I've just abused too much. Coming on the closing laps here, it is still anybody's race, really based on fuel strategy and really based on who can charge the quickest. And again, guys, if you're wanting to race with these boys, you want to race in some top tier level equipment and some top tier level guys, be sure to join the IROC series and go out and race with them. You will not regret it. All Thursday broadcasts will be broadcast on Pete's Race TV, and I promise you it will be continued on into next season. Seven laps to go here at the 98 Ian Martin right now in the butt kicker machine, still hanging it down, hanging off the charge. Cook quick in the 54. Still a bit of a hard edge shot, hard a little bit of run off here. Still looking for the piece of resistance. 6 to go. And Vincent Shore doing the exact same strategy we saw him play out, and that's with a different little look truck, a little bit different scheme out there, but the TBM 15 Track Bar Media looking to possibly strike home the gold and strike home another top spot for Holler Boy Racing. He certainly can do it, and he can certainly get it going here. On the edges here with 5 to go. Rick Seabrans, James Mayer right now, they are both watching in disbelief and just waiting for the inevitable. They're waiting for anything that can happen here, and they're waiting for the crazy one to hit up. Especially with those final 5, you just never know when they might strike or when they may come back at you. They're hoping it doesn't. Ray Radford right now going up top, trying to stay out of the way of the boys, trying to stay out of the way of trouble. Down to the ends they go. Mayer, Seabrans, they all now have to deal with pressure coming forth. Cook quick, Vincent Short. They're right on the nose. They're right on the bumpers. They're Ian Martin, much of the same. Same for Jeff Napier in the 40. All looking for that last bit run, that last ditch effort. Unbelievable racing, to say the least here. It's been clean 50, except for the unfortunate incident with Brian Reich down there earlier that we've caught on the show. It's been clean, it's been clear cut, but now I'd say it's time to be clean. It's time to start being aggressive here and really start making your moves if you want to do it now. Because you're not going to get another chance here. By how much fuel is left in these guys' tanks, how much left in the field to play into positions. Carson Conway right now, you see that 72. Well, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to get up there with his teammate Vincent Short and help him. He knows he needs help. He needs some backup. He's going to try to get to him. But he's got Paul Buesel literally doing what the 72 did to him earlier on and delivering the blockage. Stopping his run, stopping his momentum, trying not to let him by with 3 to go. A little squirrely there. The Carson Conway the side too, as the 9 of Paul Buzel kind of gets flipped in a little. Both guys A-okay though. Oh no, that's a short though. Not enough fuel. He's done. It's all over for the 15 crew unless they can get something to change here with only 2 to go. He ran a strong race and really a smart lineup, but it was not enough time to hang in there. Paul Buzel, man, though, this guy just does not quit. He wants to make things a little interesting here. He's going to fire him right up. I don't think James Meyer realized that's lap traffic, and yet he just swung it right at it. Rick Sebring goes up there with him. I think he thought that 9 was actually on the lead lap, and he's trying to block him from coming up any further. I don't think he realized that wasn't on lead lap. Whatever the case may be, though, Jeff Napier in the Bojangles 40 trying to get one last little push, one last little shove up there. Seems like he might have it, might have another chance here, a little bit of an opportunity to strike it big as the white flag will now come on out here. 50 straight laps, no cautions. Unreal. And that's Talladega of all things. James Mayer and Rick Sebring right now, teammates working together extremely well, but now they have one last obstacle in their wake, and that's Jeff Napier looking to try to steal it from them. And Ian Martin laying back, waiting for an opportunity to hit it big, maybe hit him smooth. Buzel gets bumped by Conway here. Conway giving a little nudge. Sebring, Mayer, they are trying to hold on. Coming down to the wire. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a battle for the finish. Will Mayer go to the outside, make Sebring work for this one? Will they change it up into position to the finish line? They take it. No, it won't be. James Mayer will take home the win. And the number. They're scoring at the 95 here. Mayer will take home the win by 600ths of a second. Sebring will go second, third to Ian Martin. Jeff Napier goes fourth. Fifth goes to Brian McCann. And an unbelievable battle to the line and to the end. What a race. There he is, confirmed now. James Mayer will be the race winner at Talladega in the 95. And oh my goodness, that was certainly something to say the least here, as this crew pulls off the W and brings out the victory. What a performance and what a race down there as that 95 manages to sneak on by with the race win and a big selling point. The 5, Rick Sebring, goes a nice little second place position here. And now looks like it's time for a little dual celebrations. Looks like Rick wants to enjoy his time, and looks like James is going to just kind of sit there and just watch from his end. Take a look at our race results now popping up on your screen. And okay, I don't know what the heck's going on in my timing, but it was Rick Sebring. I thought it was Rick Sebring that won it. I don't know why I thought for a second it was James Mayer there. I apologize, guys. I'm going to have to hold on a minute. Let's change that up real quick here. Okay, let's give it to Rick Sebring. I'm sorry, Rick. So Rick Sebring is the race winner confirmed here. Unfortunately, my live timing completely broke on me here. I am sorry, guys, but Rick goes away with the win here. And not second if you're seeing it on our timing sheets for the record. He is your race winner as you see this race results. This is the proper results. Mayor does go second. I thought that was the total finish. I looked really right down below. I didn't see if he made a move or not. But Ian Martin does go third. Fourth, Jeff Napier. Fifth, then to Brian McCann. Kevin McCann goes sixth. Seventh to Vincent Short. Eighth to Carson Conway. Ninth to J.R. Miller. 10th to Cook Quick. That rounds out your field here, and I'll just say that this race was about as bizarre as what my overlay system was doing to me today. So, but we do have our finishers at least loaded up and done to good to go. So it's time to talk with our top 5 drivers now. As our first up on the lineup here will be, of course, Brian McCann here in a top 5 finish here. And Brian, congratulations on that finish here. And what a wild day it was for you and your brother, obviously, and family member. You knew you definitely were going for broke and going for a long run, but it seemed like this truck really just kind of did not have the fuel capacity and the momentum to kind of stay with it, did it?
No, we thought we can go halfway, but turned out we couldn't.
Yeah, couldn't in this case, but if there was anything you could have done a little differently, would you maybe try to last out a little longer, or were you guys really expecting kind of the cautions to pop up eventually?
Yeah, we were hoping for a caution. I saw there was one spin. I'm not sure what really happened there at the very beginning of the race, lap like 3, 4. And, that would have changed the fuel strategy definitely. But, yeah, we just thought we could save. Just made a miscalculation on the fuel there.
A little miscalculation, but at the end of the day, still was a very long run and still a very big powerhouse control there for you and your crew. So congratulations on that. Now, I'll ask you this, sir. With this one all over and done with, who do you want to thank you for this one?
Yeah, my family and wife, everybody watching tonight, Wally for putting the show on, and the sponsors or whoever we have helping here. Congratulations to everybody in the money tonight.
For sure there, Brian. We do appreciate you coming on board. Congratulations on this 5th place finish. Well earned and deserved, sir.
Thanks.
Brian McCann, ladies and gentlemen, piling up with number 3 here goes 5th. Joining me now, though, the 4th place finisher today, Jeff Napier in the 40, comes away with a solid performance in battle here. Jeff, congratulations on that 4th place finish, and this was really a long, long day for you and the crew in that 40, but at the same time, you had some moments of brilliance in there and really some hard charging in there as well. I feel like this is something we're kind of missing on the Thursday show, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I love Talladega and Daytona. That's my 2 favorite tracks, obviously, because I'm not a good mile and a half or smaller track driver. So this is kind of where I do the best at. But yeah, we just happened to after the pit stop there about mid race, I had to catch up with the 2 car, Cook or Neil rather, and then we drafted up to the leaders and pretty much stayed there, and I was riding half throttle pretty much that whole last segment there.
You certainly were indeed. I know things were getting a little bit chaotic, a little bit longer on the route and on the track here, but at the end of the day, I mean, what was probably one of the biggest things that a lot of these guys could learn from this race and kind of learn from everything else that played out from the trackside here to really just kind of all around to what they can go to Thursday?
I don't know. It's really hard to say. I mean, because you had a balance there. The first and second place guys, I think they pitted twice. Myself and the 98, we pitted once about mid race, and was able to stretch it, but I ran out on the back stretch and actually got lucky to finish 4th because I know Brian and Kevin was coming fast.
Certainly were indeed, but hey, at the end of the day, like you said, man, coming away with a solid performance in our top position, but coming in top 5 here in the 4th place. Is there anybody you want to thank for this?
Yeah, Chris Wally and the guys over, in the IROC league that, put this thing on, and then of course the guys in the SCAR league as well, because that's, kind of where I got all my training from. They kind of took me under their wing, and my son, he got me into this whole thing with the rig and all that, pretty much put me in it, said go, so here we are.
For sure there, Napier, congratulations on this 4th place finish, and definitely a well-deserved finish for you in the career, sir.
Thank you very much. See you next time.
See you next time, indeed. We'll see him on Thursday night action here with us on the show. Hopefully to see him then soon enough. Coming away 3rd today, though, pilots up into the 98. The Tundra's boys are now in show. It's Ian Martin now with a solid race here today. And Ian, congratulations on this 3rd place finish. And we've seen you here before racing on these big plate tracks and these super speedways. Using some of that skill and strategy, you perfectly balanced it for another top 3 podium. Must feel pretty good here down for the Ian Martin Racing crew, didn't it?
Yeah, very, very pleased with the 3rd place finish after that flag to flag race. I wish I would have pit it with Rick and them. I ended up stretching it all the way. Barely. I had to coast across the line there. Barely beat out Jeff for 3rd. But yeah, very happy with the finish. It was a great race. I'll be back for the next one with Chris for sure.
Certainly indeed. Now I know really long-term strategy and long-term game. I know there was a bit of work here to do, and obviously, as you just mentioned, really pit strategies were the biggest criteria to winning today. But I mean, out of it all, though, I would presume you're still probably at least happy knowing that you gave it a good showing and a good real fight out here to really hang with these guys. But I mean, really at the end of the day, still, would there have been anything you guys or anyone could have changed to try to change the outcome, or do you think this is kind of how it all played out the way it did?
Well, I came into this race tonight with no teammates, no help. I just joined as a lone star, so I knew I was going to have a disadvantage there with the pit strategy being the way it is. You had exactly enough gas to make 25 laps, and when you pit, you come out with 26 laps to go, so you had to save a ton of gas. Um, Obviously, Rick and those guys, they ended up pitting twice, but since they weren't saving, they were able to catch us very quickly. And that's what ended up winning in the race. But if I had help, that definitely would have been a big factor. Definitely would have had something to give Rick and his buddy a run for their money.
Absolutely indeed, but nevertheless, though, it'll still have to come away here with a third place finish. So, Ian, with that in mind, who you want to thank?
Like you said, Ian Martin Racing, my personal Facebook page with all my iRacing, sim racing, post race reports, and things like that. Go give that a follow on Facebook. The iRacing Super Stock League, we're going into our third season starting April the 30th for Super Speedway Super Truck Series. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, check us out on Facebook. That's the iRacing Super Stock League. And then the Christian iRacers page, of course. If you're an iRacer and you so happen to be a Christian, even if you're not a Christian, go give us a like, go give us a follow on Facebook. Just a little group uh, to band together all the Christians on iRacing.
For sure there. Well, hopefully we got some eyes on that and maybe some folks come on down, check you out. But Ian, congratulations on this third place finish. I guarantee there's a lot of eyes checking you out today on this one.
Thank you.
Ian Martin, ladies and gentlemen, in that 98 coming away with a solid position here and finishing strong on the charge with a third place. But coming away second today, of course, will be James Meyer there in the number 95. And James, congratulations on the second place finish and really working with that five that right besides there and that crew member, that team member, that friend of yours. I have got a feeling that you two just completely outplayed, outstrategized, and outsmarted everybody on every circle and every turn, didn't it seem like today? James, you got a copy there?
Yeah, you got me now?
There we go. We got him.
Oh, yeah, it changed me to push to talk there for a second. I couldn't talk. Yeah, that's Rick. That's my teammate there. He's our fuel guy. If you couldn't tell, and he's pretty good at figuring that out. So that win goes to him, and I was happy to be there to push him to it.
For sure there. I know there was a lot of crazy moments in there. A little bit of a push and shove, could push to run here when you had to, and really there was a lot of really just kind of in general. I mean, I really don't know how you guys were able to kind of outwit and outstand these kind of moments and positions here. Really, was there just anything you guys could see up against everyone else down there, or what was really the kind of the strategy to win this one?
Nah, we knew. I mean, we knew they'd be close on fuel, so we knew they'd be saving. So it was, we could push hard, and we knew they had to save. So that's what it came down to, So we just push hard and let them try to save, and we knew we'd be close to catching back to them.
You certainly did catch back to him, and you got him right on the right times and the right positions in the right place and all that. So, Mayor, as you come away today second, my friend, who do you want to thank for this one?
Chris for putting the race on here. Of course, my teammate Rick, he keeps these fun, and he's a great driver to run with. Like I said, he's my crew chief, so he was the fuel mileage guy. So the win goes to him, and of course, you guys up in the booth putting on the show. We appreciate that.
For sure there. Well, you got to give the crew chief some love sometime, and he takes this one home. But nevertheless, you come away second, so congratulations on that one, sir.
Thank you.
Jim, ladies and gentlemen, comes away second place today as we join our final driver today, the man with all the power, the one that comes up on top of it all. Rick Seabrans in the number 5 tonight will take Yeti Coolers to victory lane. And Rick, congratulations on that. And as we learned a little bit of a pit crew and a fuel guy, well, I can say fully you showed everyone how well you know that fuel today here at Talladega.
Well, that strategy, really fortunate to come out on the winning end of of a call like that tonight. Normally 9 times out of 10 it don't work out like that. Something happens, but it's just a credit to this whole league. And what a tremendous first race for this whole IROC Dash for Cash series. Chris has a lot to be proud of over here with what you guys just seen tonight, man. I hope the fans enjoyed that. Bunch of different strategies, some great racing out there. Yeah, super happy with the way this turned out. Had a great teammate in Jim out there tonight. When you have him on your side, you're in good shape. So all credit to him too. All around great job by everybody on this Alliance Motorsports team.
Certainly there indeed as well. And I will ask you this too, my friend. You mean you had to push to shove and kind of run off on some of these guys here and kind of give them a little bit of a run for their money here, but when really I think the biggest factor that really took this one home, that took the cake, was, in my opinion, was when you guys came off pit road, y'all had to drive it straight in around with those guys coming up from the charge. I had a feeling that maybe a little bit scary there, just kind of having to know that they were coming right up to you and you had to try to find either way to block or kind of drive them off, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mentioned that to Jim too. I said, I wasn't really expected to pick up that lap pack there, but that really helped us check out and get caught back up to that front group. And we just wanted to make sure they tried to be as fast as they could and use up as much fuel as they could. I'm not even sure how many made it. The guys that did make it did a tremendous job of saving out there tonight. We realized pretty quick and pretty early that whoever was going to be leading this race wasn't going to make it on fuel. I didn't feel, and yeah, we just made that call early and got pretty fortunate with that other pack of cars to catch that front pack.
Made the call early, made the shot done just right, and at the end of the day, you pull off the win and the big victory here at All Things at Talladega, a track that a lot of folks can barely get a win on, much less can even find a chance to win on. Yet, you come away with the victory, so let me ask you away with this one, sir. Who do you want to thank for all this today?
I got to first thank Jim. Without him and that good strategy, and also getting on and off the pit road organized and quick there, this probably doesn't happen. And Chris and the whole IROC crew for putting this on. Again, this only works if everybody's out there racing respectful and being smart, making good decisions. And we didn't have a yellow this whole race. That just showed how much respect there is out there for the drivers.
Really, indeed, so much respect and a lot going down, and a perfect way to end this one out. So, and the 5 tonight, Rick, congratulations, sir. Well deserved.
All right, thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner today, Rick Seabrins in that 5. And that kind of closes out our night here on PT Racing TV. A big thank you again to Chris Wally for having us come back on board here and have a little call for this one. This was the Dash for Cash IROC series. Again, guys, if you want to check out the IROC series, check them out. They run on Thursday nights, as well as maybe doing a little bit more of these Dash for Cash series. So check them out. Check them out for the races and all that. And from all of us here at PT Racing TV, we cannot thank you enough for tuning in to every single one of these races. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. And until the green flag flies next time on PT Race TV, stay real with us and keep it with us all on the show. Thank you for your time. Have a good night.